So thank you so much. My name is Economist Magudu, and today we are going to be talking about the oligopolistic nature of the beverage sector in Zimbabwe. So we are actually going to be focusing on the strategic war between Delta and Varun and what has been happening within the market. So the beverage industry in Zimbabwe has evolved into an oligopolistic market structure, largely dominated, of course, by Delta Corporation and Varun Beverages Zimbabwe. So the rivalry impacts pricing, consumer choice, as well as innovation. So there is no doubt that the market is dominated by Delta and Varun, and there are high levels of entry barriers as well as strategic independence, and we can also talk about product diversification. But then of late, there's been interesting shift within the market. We see that Varun Beverage Zimbabwe has actually increased its market share by approximately 5 percentage points, which is driven by rural distribution expansion, competitive pricing, as well as product diversification. Now, Delta remains dominant but faces pressure on both non alcoholic fronts as well as alcoholic fronts. Now, let's look at the strategic expansion for Varun beverages. We can actually see that Varun announced their partnership with Carlsberg alcohol line. So they are launching or the Carlsberg alcohol line, beer and premium lagers, which is going to directly affect the market share or the existing Chibuku, Castle, Zambezi, and Eagle brands, which was dominated by Delta. So there is the issue of market entry. We see that Varun Beverages actually staggered or put phase in which they are going to enter into the market. So they have a licensed distribution in Zimbabwe. That is their first phase. They're going to be importing and distributing under that license. They are also considering to then create a plant where they are going to brew that alcohol in phase two, maybe in 2026 2027. In terms of distribution, of course, it's going to be easy because they're going to just leverage on the existing Pepsi logistic networks. Remember, they are already doing well in terms of supplying other beverages, so they can just take advantage of those those existing channels, those existing logistic network. In terms of pricing approach, of course, my assumption is that they're going to do a penetration pricing targeting or maybe premium youth market, so as to fight competition that Delta already already has. And the expected impact is obviously diversification into Delta Stronghold. So this will mark the first time that Delta is actually going to face a foreign-backed competitor in the alcohol segment, both global branding and local distribution capabilities. But that's not the only issue that is affecting Delta. You see, Coca Cola sold a 75% stake in Coca Cola Beverages Africa to a Coca Cola HBC for 2.6 billion. Now, the move signal a strategic shift from a direct bottling operation in much of Africa, focusing on franchising and brand ownership instead. Now, in South Africa, this impact has been reported to have affected about 600 jobs due to restructuring. This is according to Reuters. So it has affected one, the supply chain. There is possible instability in Coca-Cola concentrate supply. Varun can actually take up this opportunity because Pepsi production in continuity is unaffected. Also, there is market repositioning, risk of reduced portfolio depth if Coke limits its operation. To Varun, that's a chance to consolidate soft drink dominance again. And so the Coca-Cola restructuring weakens Delta's historic advantage as a Coca-Cola bottler and opens